What's up, people? When you're on your spiritual journey, you're manifesting, or when life just happens, you have to think in the mindset that when things are falling apart, when things seem like they're falling apart, they're just falling into place. Again, when you think things are falling apart, you have to know that things are falling into place. Sometimes it can start off looking like chaos. Sometimes it can be complete chaos. But you have to trust and you have to know that everything is falling into place in divine order. You could be manifesting a new job, and all of a sudden you look up and there's chaos at your old job. Your boss tripping, managers tripping, employees tripping, coworkers tripping. Your energy starts changing at that job. It starts becoming intolerable. Things just happen. Your energy starts shifting. You look up one day, you might have lost your job. You might have got fired, whatever the case may be. Now you're in this whole complete chaos, this world of chaos now. And you look up and you say, well, it was just good just a week ago. Now all of a sudden things are flipped upside down. Now you have to remember, when this happens, in the midst of all this chaos, you have to remember that things are falling into place. Again, things are falling into place. Sometimes there has to be chaos. That's just the way the universe works, the way the universe moves, the way divine works and moves. Sometimes there has to be chaos. Sometimes it has to shake things up in order for there to be restored balance. But you have to trust, you have to know, you have to let go of control. That's the biggest thing. See, in the midst of that chaos, we want to have control. We want to know what's going on. We want to be safe and secure. But the only safety and security you have is in divine. Again, the only safety and security that you have is in divine. That's it. See, in the midst of this chaos, like I said, we're always looking for control. We're looking for balance. We're looking for a state of calmness to ensure we're safe and at peace. But then again, we have to remember we asked for this new life. We asked for this change, correct? So what a lot of people do in the midst of this chaos is they try to gain control to be safe. And what they do is they mess up their blessing. They mess up the very thing that the divine was working for them, that the universe is moving for them. They mess up that very thing. They get in their own way. They get in the universe's way. They get in divine's way. By just trying to control the situation to find peace. Trying to control the situation to have balance. Therefore, messing up the very thing that the universe was doing in order to bring in what you wanted. Sometimes you got to go through pain. Sometimes you got to go through, a valley of darkness for a little bit in order to get there. But like I said, sometimes that's so uncomfortable and we don't want to go through that. So we mess it up. We get in our own way. How does that look? When you see your job is acting funny, coworkers acting funny, bosses acting funny, you get laid off or they threatening to lay you off. What do? You work harder. What do? You try to restore balance. What do? You try to find solutions. Instead of remembering that maybe this might be your exit plan. This might be your outing. That God is shaking all this up for you to find something better, for you to go to something better. God is making things uncomfortable for you, not for you to get comfortable in that situation, but for you to go outside of that situation to find new balance. Let me break it down in a relationship sense. You could be in a relationship right now, and you could be asking, the universe for a healthy relationship, or balancing your relationship, or a long-standing relationship. Something that your current relationship may not have or you want it to be, right? Now, all of a sudden, your partner start tripping. They start, acting real funny. Before they was acting funny, now they're acting real funny. And you like, what's going on with them? And you try to fight it. You try to find some balance in that situation. You try to go to counseling. You try to do this and do that. Or you try to beg and plead for them to stay. And you forget that you asked the universe for this person to change, you forgot you asked the universe for a better person. You forgot you asked the universe for a person that will have longevity. So now when your partner starts tripping and starts doing all this, you fighting for them to stay, but you forgot that you asked the universe for a divine partner. So now when this person leaves you and you go to begging, you get in your own way of having that blessing. When this person disrespects you and you bring them back and you say, let's work on it, you steady getting in your own way of not allowing what the universe is trying to bring into you that you asked it for. See, a lot of times what happens is, like I said, is either our ego. It's either our ego or we want control. That's it. It's our ego or we want control. See, our ego is we don't want to be hurt. We don't want to be left alone. Ain't nobody going to treat us bad or whoop, right? But you having that ego of not being disrespected or being treated wrong or not being treated fairly, you having that ego is getting in the way of you actually getting that companion that you truly wanted. You have to understand that when things are happening in the 3D, it's only moving that way to get you what you want or what you acquired in the 5D. Don't get caught up in the 3D. See, we get caught up too much in the 3D of how people disrespect us when we want to manifest more, or things that get in our way, or us losing jobs. We lose sight of all that in the 3D, and we can't acquire what we really want, what we really are in the 5D. Hold that. Think about that. You can't get so caught up in the 3D that you forget what you're trying to manifest. You can't get so caught up. And so many times we get so caught up into the day-to-days and the 3Ds and what's going on that we lose vision that everything is working for us in divine order. Again, we lose sight. We lose sight about that. And we get in our own way. Because we forget that, number one, it's in the 3D, and number two, you have to have a moment of uncomfortability. Again, you're going to have a moment of uncomfortability, but it's uncomfortability because you don't know where you're going and you don't understand where things are going, but you have to be comfortable in what? Divine. Like I said, you have to be comfortable in the divine and understand that the divine is working for you. Again, that divine is working for you. Anyways, this started out rich. I greatly hope this could help somebody today. And I greatly do appreciate y'all for listening. Y'all be safe out there. Love and blessings.